on this, I want to bring in Democratic Congressman Khanna from California. He is a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. I thank you for being with us. So Silicon Valley Bank is in your district. What do you see, Congressman, as necessary reforms to make sure a failure like this doesn't occur again?
Jose, I do think that the blame here falls on the management and on a lack of regulations. I mean, the management should have hedged the long-term bonds they had when they knew that interest rates were going up. They should have diversified their bank accounts. And the regulation should apply to large regional banks. They lobbied in 2018 to be exempt from some of the Dodd-Frank stress and liquidity tests. That was a mistake. We need to strengthen those regulations.
So would those liquidity tests have made a difference in 2023?
They would have, Jose. I mean, if you had had a stress test here, people would have figured out that Silicon Valley Bank didn't have a diverse depositor base, that they were too susceptible to having 20, 30 large accounts withdraw their money. And they also would have figured out that they had too many long-term bonds at a time that interest rates were going up. That's exactly what stress tests are designed to do. So this was particularly bad management, and the executive should be held accountable. I have called for a clawback of any bonuses that they made, or certainly any sales of stock, the money they made, that should be taken back. But it also is a call for better regulation.
Senator Elizabeth Warren took aim at the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, as having a hand in these bank failures. What's your level of confidence in Powell after all of this?
You know, I've always respected the independence of the Fed. I do think that Secretary Yellen and Chair Powell acted decisively on Sunday evening to guarantee deposits and also to provide a lending facility for banks to say that we will pay the face value of those bonds. That really stabilized the system. Now, I do hope he will consider the banking system, and even Volcker had a pause in interest rates, and he needs to balance inflation with the challenge and risk to the banking system. But, you know, I do respect the independence of the Fed.
And so the fact that they acted on Sunday evening and this bank started showing some major problems on Thursday, but that was, you think, Congressman, adequate time?
Well, look, I was advocating from Friday. I said these days runs move at the speed of Twitter. Money moves fast. But the fact that in 3 days the United States government took over the bank, that they assured people their deposits would be protected, and they were doing that before the Monday morning markets, actually before the Asia markets. I mean, give the country some credit. It actually shows that we are capable in moments of crisis of responding. And I think Secretary Yellen and Chair Powell and the chair of the FDIC deserve credit.
And Congressman, turning now to TikTok, the Biden administration now demanding that TikTok's Chinese owners sell their stakes in the app. I want to play for you what the head of the NSA told Congressman Mike Gallagher in last week's Worldwide Threats hearing. Listen to this.
Certainly one third of Americans get their news from TikTok every single day. 1/6 of American youth say they're constantly on TikTok. That's a loaded gun, Congressman.
What makes TikTok a loaded gun, Congressman? What's your reaction to the administration's decision?
Well, first of all, it's a problem that 1/6 of young people are on any app for that amount of time or getting their news from an app. I'd rather they be getting it from MSNBC and other news sources, so that's a problem. But we need to make sure that the Chinese Communist Party doesn't have an influence in subtly having propaganda on that app, and that's why I support the administration's decision to force the sale. Let an American company buy it, given how many of our young people are on it.
Congressman Khanna, always a pleasure. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jose.